How's it going, everyone? What do we have today? We have I found another top performing ETF for you all. Everybody, if you're new to this channel, if you haven't seen any of these videos, I talk a lot about investing. I talk about other things too, like real estate and, short, medium term rentals, as well as some adventure travel videos here and there. But basically, talk a lot about investing. And again, I've come out with a basket. I got a basket of 50 to 75 stocks. It's going to be probably closer, maybe even above 75 by the end of 2021. And from that, and this is actually what I call turbo growth tech stocks that I'm watching. I have positions in a lot of them. And from that, I've developed a list of the top 10 turbo growth tech stocks that could 10x in the next 1 to 10 years. I'm also going to develop then a top 10 group of these turbo growth tech stocks that could actually 5x in the next 1 to 10 years. So I'm going to put some links below. You'll see them. I actually don't have a place to actually go purchase those just yet. But anyway, that's what I've actually done with this channel. And I've come out and I've got like a 6-point scoring system in how I look at stocks. Now, outside of that, I've actually been doing a lot of research on ETFs. The reality is that I'm pretty astonished with how really aggressive and impressive the performance of these ETFs are. A lot of these ETFs that have crazy performance are actually leveraged ETFs, so they're certainly quite risky. But basically, I've got another video where I talked about, leveraged ETF has got a 1,400% performance over the last, 5 years, and then another one where it's like 300% performance over the last 12 months. I found one that I actually really like. It's a company called Proshares, and Proshares claims to be the largest, the group with the most amount of ETFs. Actually, the largest amount of assets under management. Basically, assets under management for Proshares are about, let's see, so Direxion is a 24.3 billion. ARK Invest is 52 billion, and then Proshares, who I'm doing the video on today, is actually about 56 billion. And just so you're familiar, you might be familiar with ARK. ARK is actually founded, and the CEO, the founder and the CEO of ARK is Cathie Wood. You probably, if you know anything about investing, you certainly know who Cathie Wood is. She's the one that became famous by putting the this crazy like $7,500 price target on Tesla back in January of 2020. And her funds are actually certainly in the top 10, I would say, for the top performing in the last 5 years. But this one I found today is actually, the symbol is TQQQ, which is for Proshares. So I'm going to go ahead and take you in, take a look at TQQQ from Proshares and take a look at their very impressive 3-year performance and their very impressive 5-year performance. Everybody, the reason I like this, I actually really enjoy investing in stocks. It's a lot of fun. I love looking at their, like I said, I got a 6-point scoring system, how I score stocks. I love looking at their year-over-year revenue growth rate. I love looking at their gross profits. I love, understanding where they're at in terms of their market cap. So you just get a lot of really juicy analysis that you can do on stocks that you don't necessarily have with ETFs. But at the same time, the largest, most successful financial organizations in the world, they're all investing in ETFs. I mean, for example, Bridgewater Associates, who's the founder is Ray Dalio, they're the largest hedge fund, in the world. Their largest holding is actually the Spider the Spider ETF by State Street Bank, ticker symbol SPY. That's their largest holding, over 5%, which is really basically just the S&P 500. So let's go ahead and another reason is it really allows you to kind of stack up your performance, right? So if you're like, oh wow, these ETFs are achieving 300% in the last 12 months, I mean that is life-changing numbers, everybody. Like for me, I in one of my accounts, I do actually have quite a bit of margin with respect to my Merrill Lynch account. But with that account, I've actually achieved about, from January 2019 until at some point here in September, about a 400% return. In fact, one of my videos, I actually do that where I go in and I show you that 400% return from January 2019 to present. And, again, using leverage, margin is, also considered leverage. When you have high returns, those high returns are magnified, basically, right? So anyway, so it really gives you a way to kind of stack up to see how you're doing against other people. Like if you're a quarterback, why not see how you're doing against Tom Brady? If these top ETFs are performing at 1,400% for 5 years and 300% for the last 12 months, and some of them, over 300% for the last 12 months, I really want to kind of see how what I'm doing stacks up against their performance numbers. Okay. Okay, so real quick, so I'm going to go ahead and take you in to their 3 and 5 year performance. So as you can see, this is the 100 highest 3-year ETF returns. We got TQQQ right here, Proshares UltraPro QQQ, right? And that is 3-year returns. We got 302.29%. They are basically the 4th one in the group there. You look at, the top one is FANG. I don't really know who microsectors are. And then semiconductors. I don't see myself investing in an ETF for semiconductors. And the next one is the 5-year. So right there we got TQQQ Proshares, 1,201% 5-year returns. That is life-changing numbers, everybody. If you go ahead and you do the number, the math on that, 1,200, divided by, that's basically like 20% a month. If you do that, that's like on average, that's about 240% a year. For that 5-year return. That's just astonishing. Certainly life-changing numbers. Don't really know if they can keep that up, if it's really gonna, if they're gonna keep it up, but that's the numbers nonetheless. So we got right here about Proshares has been the forefront of the ETF revolution since 2006. ProShares now offers one of the largest lineups of ETFs with more than 61 billion in assets. So that's more than ARK Invest has in assets under management. The company is the leader in strategies such as dividend growth, interest rate hedged bond, and geared leveraged and inverse ETF investing. So you take a look at it. Here we are at Yahoo Finance. We got ProShares UltraPro QQQ. Let's take a look at their profile real quick. As you can see, 12.4 billion in net assets for QQQ there. And then if you take a look at their holdings, this is where the holdings get a little funky. Obviously you can see, 200. They're showing, over 240% of assets, which clearly demonstrates the amount of leverage that they have, right? But all these different, NASDAQ 100 index swaps, right? And then Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon are the 3 holdings. So other than that, they're doing all these different NASDAQ 100 index swaps. But nonetheless, that's who they are, ProShares UltraPro QQQ, symbol TQQQ, and that very impressive 5-year performance of 1,200%, and then that 3-year performance of 300%. So really kind of so interesting and crazy there, everybody. Hopefully you liked hearing about those ETFs and how successful those ETFs are. Again, I've actually shown you quite a few now. I've shown you one at 5-year at 1,400%. That is Direxion. Another at 1 year of 300% plus. That was also Direxion. And then we got ProShares right here, the TQQQ, at a 5-year 1,200% return. So hopefully you guys like that. I want to bring you value in terms of showing you more, kind of turbo growth ETFs where you can participate and really, figure out how to participate if you choose to in that life-changing percentage of things like 3xing your money in 1 year. Obviously, ETFs are a very wise way when it comes to just standard S&P 500 non-leveraged, right? So just like Bridgewater does, where they invest, their largest holding is the SPDR by State Street Bank, ticker symbol SPY, where that's just basically an ETF of the S&P 500, right? If you guys like this, if you like this video, if you like hearing about investing, if you like hearing earnings releases, if you like hearing about the top turbo growth tech stocks that could 10x in the next 1 to 10 years, consider subscribing to the channel, everyone. Give me a like for this video. And if you want me to run one of your stocks through my 6-point scoring system, go ahead and put that in the comments area. I will run the stock that you like through the 6-point scoring system that I have. Everybody, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is all meant for education and for entertainment, and to kind of help just really explore for you and be a pioneer in terms of how it goes with investing. I do have a background in investing though. My first job out of college was Merrill Lynch. I did investment banking after that, and then I worked for Sun America here in Los Angeles for 3 years as an individual investor. I've got a great track record. I got 5 10Xs to my track record, where I got Netflix in there at 90X, and then also Apple, which might even be at 35X now, but 33X. I bought Apple back in June of 2007, before the first iPhone came out, and then Netflix back in 2011 and 2012. My lowest positions are from 2012, and if you look at their 52-week high, we're looking at 90X there for Netflix. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to put some links below. Came out with a guide on investing and credit. I'll put those links below if you want to go check those out. They've got tons and tons and tons of guides. These this blueprint or ebook is actually the newest one's going to be over 100 pages, so you can check that out. I don't have a link to actually purchase the top 10 turbo growth tech stocks to 10X in the next 1 to 10 years, but as soon as I do, I will put them in my videos. Okay, everybody, thank you and have a great week.